You can't stay motivated and you hate yourself for it. You start strong, you're excited, you're energized, you're convinced that this time is different. And for a few days, maybe a week, you're all in. You're doing the thing, you're making progress, you're on fire. And then the motivation disappears. And when it does, you stop. You go back to your old habits and you feel like a failure. And you think, what's wrong with me? Why can't I just stay motivated? But here's the thing, there's nothing wrong with you. You're just relying on the wrong thing because motivation isn't supposed to last. It's not designed to. And if you're waiting for it to come back before you take action, you're going to be waiting forever. So let's talk about why you can't stay motivated and more importantly, what to do instead. First, let's be clear about what motivation actually is. So motivation is a feeling. It's an emotional energy that makes you want to do something. It's the excitement, the drive, the push. It's powerful. When you have it, everything feels easy. You don't have to force yourself. You don't have to push. You just do it because you want to. But motivation is also temporary. It fades, it comes and goes, and you can't control when it shows up or how long it stays. So when you rely on motivation to take action, you're essentially saying, I'll only do this when I feel like it. And most of the time, you won't feel like it. And that's why you can't stay motivated. Not because you're lazy, not because you're broken, but because you're treating motivation like it's supposed to be the engine, and it's not. It's actually just the spark. The spark gets you started, but it's not what keeps you going. So, why can't you stay motivated? Well, let's break it down. The first reason is because you're chasing the feeling instead of building the habit. When you first start something, it feels good. It feels new. It feels fresh, exciting. And that feeling is what drives you. But once the novelty wears off, the feeling goes away. And when the feeling is gone, you stop because you're not doing it for the result. You're doing it for the high. And the high doesn't last. So you move on to the next thing, the next project, the next goal, because that one still has the spark. The, the one that feels exciting and the cycle continues. You're constantly starting, but you're never finishing because you're addicted to the feeling of starting, not the work continuing. The second reason is because you're waiting for motivation instead of creating momentum. You think motivation comes first. You think you need to feel motivated before you can actually take action, but that's backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. And when you start moving, even if you don't feel like it, the momentum builds and the momentum creates energy, and the energy feels like motivation. But you're sitting around waiting for the energy to show up first, and it's not coming because energy doesn't come from waiting, it comes from moving. So you stay stuck, not because you're not motivated, but because you're not moving. And the third reason is because motivation is tied to how you feel, and how you feel changes constantly. Some days you wake up and you're ready to go. You're energized, you're focused, you're on it. Other days you wake up and you're tired, you're distracted, you're not in the mood. And if you only take action on the days you feel good, you're going to be inconsistent because feelings are inconsistent. You're letting your emotions dictate your actions, and emotions are unreliable. They change based on how much sleep you got, what you ate, what happened yesterday, what you're worried about today. So if you're waiting to feel motivated, you're handing control of your life over to something you can't control. And that's why you can't stay consistent. And the fourth reason is because you haven't built a system that works when motivation is gone. When you're motivated, you don't need a system. You just do it. You don't need structure. You don't need a plan. You're running on pure energy. But when the motivation fades, you're left with nothing, no structure, no routine, no system to fall back on. So you stop because you don't know how to keep going without the feeling. But here's the truth, Motivation gets you started. Systems are what keep you going. And if you want to be consistent, you can't rely on feeling motivated. You have to build a structure that works even when you don't feel like it. So, what do you do instead? Well, the first thing you need to do is stop waiting for motivation and start building identity. Motivation is about feeling. Identity is about being. When you're motivated, you do the thing because you feel like it. When you have an identity, you do the thing because it's who you are. And identity is stronger than motivation because identity doesn't depend on how you feel. It depends on who you've decided to be. So instead of saying, I'm motivated to work out, say, I'm someone who works out. Instead of, I feel like writing today, say, I'm a writer. This is what I do. Because once it becomes part of your identity, you don't need to feel motivated. You just do it because that's who you are. And the second thing you need to do is to take action before you feel ready. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait to feel like it. Just start. Even if it's small, even if it's 5 minutes, even if you're not in the mood. Because action creates momentum, and momentum creates energy, and energy feels like motivation. But you won't get the energy by waiting for it. You get it by moving. So stop thinking about it. Stop waiting for the perfect moment and just do the next small thing and let that momentum carry you. And the third thing you need to do is build a system that removes the need for motivation. Make it easier to do the thing than not to do it. Schedule it, put it on your calendar, create accountability, remove the friction. If you want to work out, lay out your gym clothes the night before. If you want to write, open the doc before you go to bed so it's waiting for you in the morning, right there. If you want to eat better, prep your meals on Sunday. Make the decision once, then automate the follow through because willpower will run out. Motivation will fade, but systems don't care how you feel. Systems simply work. And the fourth thing you need to do is accept that consistency beats intensity. You don't need to be motivated every day. You don't need to feel on fire. You don't need to give 100% effort. You just need to show up, even if it's 20%, even if it's not your best, even if you're just going through the motions. Because showing up when you don't feel like it is what builds the habit, and the habit is what creates the result. Motivation gives you big days, consistency gives you big years. And if you're building for the long term, consistency is what matters. So here's what I want you to think about. What's one thing you've been waiting to feel motivated to do? And what would it look like to just do it anyway? Not perfectly, not with full energy, just show up, take the first step, even if you don't feel like it. Because you're not going to feel like it, not today, maybe not tomorrow. But if you wait for the feeling, you'll never start. And if you never start, well, nothing's going to change. So stop waiting for motivation and start building the system. Start building the identity. Start taking action even when you don't feel like it, because that's what actually works. If this resonated with you, I invite you to join our free community called Beyond Overthinking. I created it for people like you who want help getting unstuck, but find themselves often overthinking. And if you want to work with me one on one, there are options for that too. You can find all of this at natehooks.com. The link is in the description below. Either way, thanks for watching. And remember, motivation gets you started, systems keep you going. So build the system.